Good morning. Today I'm going to make my first knife. I've never made a knife before, so this could be epic. Stay tuned. Well, good morning and welcome to our first, our Memphis Monday 267. I said first because today I'm going to be making my first knife ever. A buddy of mine had a bunch of knife parts and he brought them to me and asked me if I'd turn them into knives for display, and it dawned on me that I'd never made a knife before. Well, I'm always like to try new things, but I hate to make the first knife I ever made one of his. So today we're going to try to figure out how to make a big old cane knife, and should be epic. So get your coffee, knock off the chit chat, and let's get to work. Here's what he's got for me. These fancy, I guess that's a skinning knife. There's another fancy knife. There's another one. He's already got the wood cut out for the handles. And he asked me if I'd put the handles on and maybe make some kind of a display for him and all that. Well, before I do that, I want to make sure I know what I'm doing, or know more about what I'm doing than I know now, which is nothing. First step is I'm going to try to turn this piece of steel, bar steel, into kind of a knife shape. And I'm just using an angle grinder to shape it. What I'm doing here is just sanding it down before I put an edge on it. I think the knife guys are going to go crazy. What I'm doing here is using oil and 400 grit sandpaper. Kind of shine it up a little bit. I'm putting the best edge I can on this. This thing's never going to hold an edge. Wrong kind of steel. Everything about it is wrong. Well, we got our blade. let's see if we can put a handle on it. The handle, I think I'm going to use these oak pieces here and sandwich the metal part through there. Hold it all on with epoxy and put these metal pins through like that. So I guess we need to drill 1/4-inch holes. Now I'll line up the blade with the handle here and cut the holes for the wood. I put one of the pins in that first hole so that I can keep these holes exactly lined up, because there's no play in these pins, so the holes have got to be perfectly aligned. Little test fit action here. So that's going to go like that. Go like that. This will go like this. It's a custom fit, so it's got to be I think I got it. It's a super tight fit. I turned the camera off because then you don't need to see me struggling with it. But these boards have to be facing the right way, and for all these to line up, because these pins have no play in them at all. So I don't get messed up again. Put little X's or a little mark. And I'm going to call this the right side, and this will be the left side. Okay, what I'm going to do now is trim these off. I think I'll just put this in a vise and cut these off with a hacksaw. This is why this is my favorite tool. Do anything with it. I guess it's time for a little glue up. I glued up I mixed up the epoxy. I'm not in any hurry because I want this, it's hypergolic, or not hypergolic. It doesn't catch fire spontaneously. But it does generate its own heat, and if you keep it in the pot, it'll cure faster. And I don't want all the epoxy just to run out of the joint. Probably will anyway. So that's the bottom. That's the left. That's the right. It's curing fast. It's curing fast. The reason I tell it's curing fast, it's hot. And it's gummy. It's starting to get gummy. It won't cure when it's thin like this real fast. If you're doing it on a boat or something. But if you keep it in the pot, it'll start curing fast. As a matter of fact, it'll actually catch on fire if you put too much in a pot. Okay. These go like this. And the theory is I can put these pins through. If I can find the first one. There you go. There's the glue up. The only takeaway when you're trying to glue up with epoxy is you don't want to make it real tight, especially when you're using metal, because you'll squeeze out all the epoxy and you'll have a dry joint. But I put some pressure on, a reasonable amount of pressure. Okay, we'll goof off for a while. This thing should be cured up in an hour or so. Well, I got that epoxy to dry. I feel like I ought to be filming more, but there's not much to film. All I'm doing is sanding down, not many takeaways. But maybe one takeaway is these stick-on drill things. Been watching me for a while, you know that I got every tool there is, but I still use this stick-on pad right here, particularly for jobs like this. It just works really good, and everybody has one. Well, this may not have been any fun for you, but I've really enjoyed it. I'll put a little Danish oil on it. Maybe some linseed oil later. have any oil, regular oil like you put on knives, like gunstock oil, so I'm just going to use regular oil. But, you know, this is not rustless steel here, so it's got to be oil. Well, that'll do it for Memphis Monday 267. Today we built this giant knife. I'm not even sure what kind of knife it is. I don't really know anything about knives. But it reminds me of a cane knife or a machete like they use in Africa to whack down jungle. Well, it does it for Memphis Money 267. Today we built this giant knife here. Got a solid metal all the way through. Put it on with 3 steel rivets. Couldn't find any brass. We carved it out with an angle grinder. Stuck the handle on with epoxy, and everything was a takeaway today for me because this was my first knife I ever made. But it was actually pretty fun, so I might make more. Like, favorite, share, all the stuff you do on the internet. But don't forget to come back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.